Yo, what an anticlimax when that intro finishes and then you get a split second of no audio, no volume. What an anticlimax. I gotta do something about that. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. I know you guys are having a fantastic evening. I'm not gonna say I hope because I know you guys are having a fantastic evening. On the back of 3 points at the bridge with a beautiful, beautiful goal by Kai Havertz. With all that is going around and going and surrounding us in the news, in the media, to come back and to win. Fantastic. Fantastic. A beautiful game of football. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a beautiful game. It was a beautiful result at the end of the day. It was an intense game of football, and I got to say something about Newcastle. They came to take advantage of the situation. They came to try and take advantage of a wounded lion, a wounded beast. They thought, you know what, these guys are having it tough at the moment. Let's try to take the game to them. They took it to us. And to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed because they came at us trying to play us in a rough manner. Pushing players about, fouling people, doing this, doing that. But you know what? We gave as good as we got. The referee had a howler of a game. But, you know, it ain't the first time and it ain't going to be the last time. Happy with the performance, considering what we're going through. Happy with the way Kai Havertz scored that goal. And happy that Jorginho remembered how to pass the ball forward. I got a feeling Fabregas called him at half-time and is like, listen, just try it one time. Do you remember how I used to do it back in the day? Try one of them passes. And let's see what happens. Beautiful first touch. Beautiful finish by the silky German. Fantastic. Welcome all to the Blue Lounge. Welcome all to the stream. Let me address some of the champions in here. MCIG, big up to you. Fazo, I will be talking about this. Sharmark, big up to you. Daniel, yeah, I will be talking about this. Alex, big up. Courtney, big up. Elias, Bobby Fairview, Chelsea Blue, is that Eric? Abdul B, big up to you. Top Bins, fantastic. Welcome to the stream. George Campbell got the job done today. Yes, we did. My panel for the stream today is Eric Blue, Chris, and the Podfather. But before I say hello to them, as promised per my video yesterday, tonight's stream is going to be an open one. So I am going to put the link in the chat, and I'm going to remember to pin it this time because I forgot to pin it last time. I'm going to pin the link. Anyone who wants to jump on and give us their thoughts and opinions about tonight's game, the news surrounding Chelsea Football Club, all you got to do is click on that link and you're welcome to jump on. Eric Blue, you there, mate?
Yeah, of course I'm here.
Welcome, Eric. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Fantastic results. Fantastic win. It was a very important result. It's very good to see that the players have a very strong mentality. You know, we've won the most games this season in this whole situation. We've actually won 5 games in a row, which is
in the year, the calendar year, not the season. The calendar year.
Wow. So that's even that's more impressive, right?
Since the start of the year, I believe. But that's the year.
No, I think it's like, did we win 5 games in a row before now this season?
Oh, you mean in back to back?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay, all right.
So it's the first time we won 5 games in a row this season. So that's a new record for the season. So it's interesting and it's fantastic. that we're able to do something like this with all the negativity and all the uncertainty going on around. So fantastic result for the players. We cannot assume that it's just a normal game. We know that it's not. These things are playing on the. It's on the players' mind, the mind of the players, and the mind of everybody associated with the club. So it's a huge win, fantastic results, and the performance was good. I think it wasn't so good initially, but especially after the goal, I think it was much better.
Eric, in my starting comments, I said it wasn't a great performance, and that is in the general terminology, in the general sense, with everything being how it should be. But under the circumstances that we're in, amazing performance. And I have to say something. The media started to criticize Thomas Tuchel for celebrating the win. I mean, it is getting beyond ridiculous how the hate is being chucked at us left, right, and center. We can't even celebrate winning the fixture anymore. So it's a funny one. It's a funny one. Daniel Crane, I have actually spoken to Jesters recently, and I have told him because he thought that I invite people. I don't invite people. You're all welcome. And I said to him, this is his channel. He's welcome here anytime. So all he's got to do is click on that link, and he can jump on, and he will be part of the family because he's part of the Chelsea fan base. So he's welcome here at any time that he chooses to come on. Chris, my man, how are you? How you feeling?
How am I, Mo? How am I? I feel weirdly. I feel weirdly happy. I shouldn't be, but I am because of that win today. Honestly, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the team. The way that we've, not even the performance, but just the way we just stuck in. We handled the pressure from Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle fans were giving it the digging, but then they soon shut up as soon as Kai Havertz put that goal in the back of the net. Jorginho, as you say, mate, I think he did phone up Fabregas. Fabregas probably told him, pretend Kai Havertz is Diego Costa and just put the ball in. And wow, what a goal. What a goal. Yeah, mate, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Obviously, the situation is not the best situation, but considering the SHIT we're in, big win, massive win. And people are forgetting as well, people are saying, oh, it's only Newcastle. Newcastle were unbeaten in 9. And they were obviously looking for that big statement win against us today at the Bridge. So overall, yeah, mate, I'm very, very happy. And you know what? I'm very, very happy that we're all sticking together because you just said there, the media, Thomas Tuchel, of course he's going to celebrate the win. What do you expect them to do? Just say, nah, we won. But, wow, mate, this is what I'm saying. The media are so biased. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, mate. But yeah, mate, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Look, Chris, all I can say is this. The true strength, the true grit, the true heroes are the ones that step up to the plate when it gets tough.
When the going gets tough. Yeah.
When the going gets tough. Yeah, these are the men that step up to the plate, and you know what? We've got some beasts, some lions wearing that Chelsea shirt. I just wish they figured out how to remove that number 3 from the front. That would have been the cherry on the cake, man. Yeah, put Trivago on and just remove that ugly number 3. Let's continue. Podfather, big up to you. Welcome to the channel. How are you?
How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, mate. Doing fantastic.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It was great result. I think I'm a bit different to Eric Blue. I don't think we played well. If you take the whole game in the entirety, and obviously, I know we haven't spoken about the game, but obviously that Newcastle penalty decision, I think was a crucial turning point in the game because if they scored there based on our performance up to that point, I don't know if we're going to win. But yeah, happy with the results. Obviously, the performance wasn't as exciting as the Norwich one, but obviously this was better opposition, and it's our first home game since this whole this week began. there was going to be loss of immersion, obviously, and the players. It wasn't a lack of effort. Like the players seemed like they wanted to put on a show for the fans. I saw that from the beginning. Like they were trying, running hard. It just wasn't. The quality just wasn't there for most of the game, pretty much. And Havertz is he's proven that he's not just a man for the big games or big occasions, but he's a man to be relied on week in, week out.
You know what? I think today the occasion was massive. I think today was an equivalent to a Champions League final. And I know it's going to sound silly in respect to it's Chelsea, Newcastle. No, it's with what's going on with the eyes and the attention on this game, the focus, the global focus on this game. The fact that the players don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Are they going to get a paycheck? Are they not going to get a paycheck? The whole stadium, the staff, the stewards, the ticket people at the doors, everyone, the people who are turning on the lights and they're watching the CCTV and just trying to keep this game going. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. They don't know what the future holds for them. And for them to put on a show like they did, fantastic. And again, when I say like the Champions League, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not.
It was definitely amazing for us and the fans, and obviously after the week we've had. It just when I say it wasn't massive. I'm just talking about in terms of like the players wouldn't got any real criticism if we lost. People would have understood based on the week we've had and the emotion, and you know what I mean. There was like a ready-made excuse type thing or whatever. But they didn't rest on their laurels, and they wanted that win. And I'm happy for Havertz because he showed that character because he wasn't really having a good game and he really stepped up.
I'm happy for Kai Havertz and for Jorginho for that pass, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable for Timo Werner, as Kai Havertz literally showed him what he should have done just a few moments ago when he got that ball over the shoulder. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me go to Bobby Smokey Signals. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Tell me how you're feeling, my man.
Help if I unmute. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with my colleagues. I think this was a humongous performance by the team, especially by the fans. I was in communication with a lot of fans there, some of the security, and this was a hugely emotional day for us, hugely. We now find ourselves with every respect to, all our colleagues, but this is unprecedented. This is a third world sort of situation where you have those dictatorial governments suddenly deciding that they support a football club and they'll banish the others in the competition so that their club can win. This is what's happening here, real time in our country. Yeah, I don't buy anything else. You look at the media, look at the way they talk, the things that they're doing. I don't buy anything else. And the only thing that can fix this is if we find that the government ensure that the club has not only a new ownership as soon as possible, but ownership that has the financial capacity to continue the club in the direction it was going. Anything other than that would add up to the fact that the government and the media has ganged up to dope this competition, and that's how it will be going forward. It's painful what happened today. It's painful. It's emotional. It's everything. What hurts so much is you see those kiosks and stalls outside Chelsea, owned and run by local people trying to make a livelihood in a difficult time like now, and they can't do it. Tell me how. Make sense of that for me, please. How that helps anything. How that helps anybody. This is a ridiculous situation. It wasn't thought out. It was a knee-jerk reaction.
100%
reaction, just trying to score points or whatever. These people had no understanding of the competition they're damaging, the institution they're damaging. And please, God, let them not succeed in doing that. I'm so happy with the result anyways. I'm sorry I get emotional about this because today, the way the fans came together, and you know what pleased me the most? You know, I told you yesterday, Chelsea football fans are intelligent people. The fans timed the way and the time they sang Roman's name. They didn't do it during the respect to Ukraine, but at various intervals in the game they sang his name in defiance to being told not to, and also in recognition of what this man has done for the club, because it is barbaric for us to even conceive taking that away from him.
Yeah, yeah, but it's happening. It's happening, unfortunately, and we will be talking about the future of Chelsea Football Club after we conclude the match review. Because there is news that is coming out today from various different sources. We'll be addressing it generally on the channel, so make sure you guys stick around to the end of the stream because we are going to be talking about the Saudis, the British investor, the American investors. We're going to be discussing all of that in due course. Bobby, thank you. I'm going to go to Boogeyman. Boogeyman, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good, my brother. Tell me how you feel about the result today.
Listen, it is a win. It's still the Roman Empire. The mentality that owner put into us, that's thing that is driving us. And whatever they're trying to do, like Bobby had said, to bring down this club, either destroy it completely so we can end up in the second division or whatever they're trying to do. This kid on the field have shown us they have the will, and they will show the world that it is everybody against us. And all we can say is thanks to them to get that win. Kai Havertz was one of the best performer on the field today for me. And as Bobby said, the entire game and the circumstances, we can only appreciate the willing, the running. They didn't give up until the last minute, and they scored their goals. It just showed their professionalism. And again, all those sponsors playing those games. Listen, I don't know if I have to swear like that, but I will have to. Hopefully, you don't kick me out. Fuck them out. I don't care about them. They can go eat whatever they want to eat, and Chelsea will always be Chelsea.
Boogie. Please, let's just avoid that. I mean, we can express ourselves in better language. I mean,
Not good.
yes,
Not good.
I know.
I won't come out anymore. Good. So they all can go eat whatever they want to eat. And listen, I'm Chelsea, and hopefully, whatever the government's trying to do, we manage to steer ourselves out of this whole time. And I'm not sure. I still want us to stay with Abramovic. That's the only thing I care about right now. But it seems like it's not going to happen. And whatever new owner coming in, I'm still hopeful that Abramovich stays as the owner of the club. That's why I'm not really doing any research about the new owners or the buyers or anything. For some reason, I'm still keeping that hope that they will finally just leave us alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even if they do leave us alone, the club will still get sold, because I think where the situation is right now and the way things are going right now, I think from my personal perspective, I think Roman Abramovich is a very smart man, and this attack, this targeting of Chelsea Football Club that's been going on since day one, since 2003, since day one, it's been happening. Will continue to happen. If Roman Abramovich is linked to this club, it will continue to happen. Therefore, he is doing what's right by the club, and I think the attack that has been targeted towards him personally, I think he will deal with that at a later date. I think the fact that they are trying to push him and treat him in this particular way, I'm pretty sure Roman Abramovich will be able to deal with this in due course. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. We'll
But
see.
yeah, I understand. Listen, that's what I can say at this point. I'm one of those find that I still think there is a hope, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are convinced that the could will get sold to another owner. But I don't believe it until the government said they have a potential buyer and they actually giving the club to someone else or whatever. I'm going to cling to my hope that Abramovich will still be the club owner because that's what I love. That's one reason why I support Chelsea, and I will wait till the end. You know what I mean? So, but again, at the end, the players on the field are all we need right now, and they're doing what we need at this point. The win is we just need to collect as much as win we can to stay top four, and that's all that matters at this point. That's all they can do, and we have one of the best coach. Listen, man, whoever take over this club will be idiot enough to let go Thomas Tuchel. That guy, the way he's managing this club during this whole difficulty is just amazing. I've never seen someone so eloquent. So I don't want to use sexy because it's a little
No,
weird.
no, no. Use it, use it, use it.
Yeah,
The
man.
man.
Listen,
Listen,
man. The man is just at a different level, man. Every
different.
time I
No, for
listen
real,
to
for
him,
real.
every time I listen to him, he's talking. I feel like there's some peace that go in through me. I'm like, okay, good. At least we have someone as smart as him in front of the press talking, and he's the one talking to the players. So at least he keep the players performances at a high level. So we need to thank him also. And whoever owner coming need to be smart enough not to really destroy or disrupt that guy group and keep all his assistant and himself. You know, that's all I can say at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah. Well, we're going to hear from Thomas Tuchel in just a second. So
No, no,
I wanna,
please, no.
I wanna just one second. Let me just address the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, and I know the point you're trying to make here. And I understand your frustration. They're targeting us because they can't do anything in respect to the conflict, and they are diverting attention to Chelsea Football Club, and I understand that. You know, whatever they do, whatever action they're taking against us, isn't going to have anything or any impact in regards to the humanitarian disaster that has taken place in Ukraine. So unfortunately, this is where the attention of the government and the media is right now, against a football team, an institute of culture, an icon in English football, in European football. That's where the attention is right now, instead of trying to help the people who are currently suffering and who are being displaced and who are being killed out there in Ukraine. So, prayers and thoughts and prayers, and best wishes, and I hope anyone who is able to help in any way, shape, or form the people who are currently suffering because of this crisis, please do so. Bobby, yeah, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly jump in and just say quickly that, the class shown by Petr Cech, where he addressed the situation and at the same time made it very clear that this is the Chelsea fans and the Chelsea club are not against Ukrainians. We empathize with what is going on there, but it's not our fault. And if you ever want to feel proud of supporting this club, just go on social media and see how the fan base all over the world has come together. The photographs being posted out there, people with Chelsea kits, flags. It is so touching. It is so touching. This club is massive. And whoever is trying to hurt us is beginning to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely, definitely. Look, I want to continue with the match preview, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the future of the club. Guys, we're gonna watch the post-match press conference by Thomas Tuchel, and then we will dive into the game, and then from there we'll go towards the other news. So just bear with me 1 second while I bring up the video. There we go.
Can you stay, would that be enough for you to stay to the end of the season and reassess?
Me?
Yeah.
If I stay until the end of the
You
season?
were saying about you've got to go day to day.
Sure, there's no doubt that I stay until the end of the season, no
I
doubt.
thought that was the case. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
We
then
just have to wait until day by day because everything can change. And as you know, the situation is clear. The club is for sale, and hopefully it will go through to sort things out and give us a perspective. But it's pure speculation, and I have no further information than you already have. And that's what I meant with day by day, which is anyway a good way to live your life. And now it's we are like forced to do it because there are some circumstances we cannot influence, and that is at some point not so nice because you have no strings to pull and no actions to do to help. But on the other side, it gives you the freedom to focus on the stuff we can influence, and this is our performances and show the spirit. Because of course we are, the focus is on the first team, the focus is on our players, on me and on the first team of Chelsea, but Chelsea is much more than only the first team in Premier League. It's a massive club with huge tradition, and there are hundreds of people who maybe, I'm pretty sure, very more than our players and the staff, me included, and for them it's important that we show the spirit and we give them a bit of distraction and kind of hope and what we are about football because we love the game.
Okay, at the back there in the middle, your hand up.
What's practically changed from a preparation point of view, or is it exactly the same?
I think practically changed more for the guys who, like for example, organized the journey to Lille, because they have to figure out how we can arrive there. And in the end, I get the information. So for me personally, when I come to the building, actually nothing has changed so far. We do our meetings, we prepare training, we talk to fitness department, to the doctors, talk to the players, and do the best training as possible. And we demand it from everybody because this is what makes Chelsea special, and what makes Chelsea a top club is the commitment, the quality of support, and the commitment from everybody in our building. And in the end, that makes is the foundation, or maybe it's the top of a strong club. And this is what we try to maintain. So has not changed so much. The schedule up to the games is in the moment the same.
Andy Dillon.
You said about the things that changed, the travel to Lille. So have things changed in how you're getting there?
No, my last information is that we have a plane, but and we can go by plane and can go back by plane. If not, we go by train. If not, we go by bus. If not, I drive a 7-seater, honestly. I will do. Yeah, you can mark my words. I will do. I will arrive there. I mean, if you ask me like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if I would join a Champions League match at the sideline and what I was willing to do, I would say, okay, when do I have to be where? And why should this change? I will be there and we will be there. And of course, there are in organization-wise some negotiations going on and talks, but it does not influence me because we have, that's what I mean, we have brilliant guys who organize the travels and we have in every department so committed people that things are in the moment feeling pretty normal.
You're not driving a 7-seater.
Sorry?
Are you okay driving a 7-seater on the left?
That's a very good question. And then change to the right.
Yes.
Matt.
Well, at some point we need to have trust in the coach.
Matt Law.
Thomas, there were Saudi Arabia flags in the away end today.
Okay.
There were 81 executions in Saudi Arabia yesterday.
Yeah.
And they have a war in Yemen.
Yeah.
And
Of course they have.
your club is in your situation. Do you find it weird at all that one club is in one situation and one club isn't?
Wow. Yeah, it's a big one. And unfortunately, the situation is like this also for the owners of Newcastle, and that affects in the end. Yeah, it is. What can I say? But I don't want to point the finger, because like comparing yourself or blaming the others does not make the situation for us a different situation. And I think like the statement that we condemn war and the action from Russia towards Ukraine, there's no doubt, but we are facing the consequences actually at the moment, and this is where the focus is. I hope you can understand that.
Sammy.
Just following on from Matt's question, you're a football manager, and obviously you want to, that's what your focus wants to be on, and they're the questions you want to be asked about. But given your position, and you have your own personal feelings, and perhaps the club's stance, from a personal point of view, how difficult a scenario is that for you personally to tread?
At some point we need also to trust the process, like to trust the process, for example, of the league to control who owns a club. At some point we are like, okay, we are like maybe famous employees because we speak into a camera and are on TV, but in general we're only employees and need to trust the process. Maybe as you need to trust the process that you work for a company that is not doing the morally and ethically wrong things. At some point we need to trust. And maybe we need to ask questions to the process of how this goes, and it's maybe an ongoing process and will never end, and just reminds us to be aware and conscious about it and not look away.
Okay, we're going to do two more. Nazar.
Hi Thomas, did you guys feel the noise a little bit today, because it was a bit flat for large parts of the game, and also tell us about Havertz's goal?
The atmosphere in the stadium, or what you mean, or the performance?
No, just the atmosphere around the news reports and the uncertainty of the club. Did it affect the team today?
Yes, but not more than in the last game. I had the feeling, and like I said, I feel it even like in the last days. It's our responsibility, because we cannot influence the situation. We are also not responsible for the situation. So at some point it's our responsibility to because we are in the spotlight and we have these games, to focus on what we do good. It's our responsibility to every employee of Chelsea, and there are a lot of people which I feel and see on a daily basis who are worried, and who work for decades and are not so famous, and maybe worry for the pretty close future if things will be all right. And for them it's important to have the attitude right, and also to focus on that, and see the responsibility, what this means to these people. And if it's just for 90 minutes, when we played football during Corona, we could not cure the virus, but we were there like to give people some hope, that they feel joy, excitement, maybe anger, and it is also entertainment. And this is what we try to do now. The matter is very, very serious, of course. The Kai Havertz goal was exceptional. Of course, we were a bit lucky today, and we had a hard time on the pitch because Newcastle was physical, well deserved, very physical. Was difficult to create chances to accelerate the game in the last 30 meters. But it was so important not to concede, to have the chance to have maybe with one quality run, one quality pass, and a quality finish to win it. And full credit because we did, and we never got frustrated about it, and we defended very, very well. And you could see for me in the last 4 minutes what a goal does to a team. We were so good in the last 4 minutes. Suddenly it was easier to find the gaps, to keep the ball, to open up spaces, switch off play. Everything was so easier, so much more fluid. But this is what happens, and I think the distraction level was not the biggest part today.
Okay, last question, Neil Barnett at the back.
You talked quite a lot recently about players needing to have big balls.
I never said that. I said it. Really. Sorry?
What were your thought processes to get to finishing that win?
Well, the manager showed some balls with these decisions, maybe. Well, we had, as you as you are aware, we started today in a 4-1-4-1 because like Aspi was out, Reece James is out, Christian Pulisic came from some days of feeling sick. So we struggled to find a real right wing back. Marcos struggled during his Corona time, so we were not sure if he can make it. We started in a 4-1-4-1, and the second half it was a back five, and of course then Malang is good in defending, but we took the risk in the end on the left side, to be more offensive and defend against the three strikers, more or less in a 3-against-3. And Jorginho was the spare man in front of the back three to control the counter-attacks and the long balls. Hakim did it against Tottenham. When we saw that they play a back five, it was a bit the same situation than against Tottenham. In one of the 4 games that we played recently, or 3 games we played recently. It's not their best position. It's a bit easier for players like Christian when they then come on into a match, or when they switch the position during a match. Then you're already like in the rhythm of and in the heat of the match. That helps a little bit. But we took the risk to increase a bit the offensive threat, to have some runs, and I think in the end we had a double run with Kai and with Christian Pulisic to arrive in the box. So, I'm happy. It was a bit of a risk because Malang was important in defending set pieces. It was a bit of a gamble, but the game was a draw. And so what I thought, like, okay, we're taking the risk for a point now, but we can have a huge. If we lose it, we lose 1 point, because in a moment we have only a draw, but we could win 2 more points. So we took it, and I'm happy because the impact general from the bench was huge. Kova was very strong, Christian was very strong, and Romelu gave a presence.
Great, thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot to take myself off mute. I know everyone is eager to talk about a whole bunch of topics, a whole bunch of stories, but let's just focus on the game first, review it, and then we'll move on to the other stories that are also very important to address. Guys, today the referee had a poor game. Chelsea played again with a back four with 4 centre-backs. Due to the injuries, due to the availability, we had to play Chalobah on the right and Malang Sarr on the left as our fullbacks. 4-1-4-1 formation. How do you guys rate the performance? How do you guys rate the formation, the system that we are currently transitioning to? Are we? Maybe. So give me your opinions on this. I want to address this. I want to give it about 20 minutes, and then we'll talk about the other stories. DJ Sav, welcome to the stream. Guys,
Big up, guys.
Take it away. Who wants to jump in first? Go ahead. Big up, DJ.
I can go first.
Go ahead, Pod.
Yeah. So it was interesting. Obviously, it was needs must. I don't think it was the ideal formation of what he wanted to play. I think if ideally you'd have wanted to keep the same starting lineup that we had against Norwich, since that was a really good performance and stuff. But obviously, with Lille coming up, that being the priority, same players needing to get rested. Obviously, lack of fullback options at the moment are quite something. Obviously, Azpilicueta would have started, I'm pretty sure. Alonso, if it wasn't for his COVID thing. So I think it was a formation we were forced into. I was surprised when he said it was 4-1-4-1, because from what I saw most of the time, it seemed more like a 4-4-2 to me, because Mason Mount and Ziyech for most of the game seemed to be playing as number 10 rather than out wide. So it seemed more like a 4-2-2 to me, because at the time, but obviously.
For me, it was a hybrid of many different formations, because at times it was a 4-1-4-1. At times it was a 4-2-2. At times it was a 4-4-2. And I think quite a big chunk of the time it was a 4-2-3-1. with Mount, Ziyech, and Werner just behind Havertz.
Yeah, I think Newcastle played. They defended very well. I thought they didn't give basically any time for our forwards to get the ball turned or have any time on the ball. Like as soon as they got it, boom, they were in, almost pushing them away from the goal. So you almost have to come as a striker with your back to goal. Your first touch is going back into your own half rather than turning and going. I thought they were very good with that. I don't know whether it was part of the tactics, but Rudiger seemed to be our number one outlet ball. He seemed to be finding a lot of the forward players just coming in and whether it was with his right or with his left, like direct balls right into the midfielders. It seemed like he was the one picking out a lot of those passes rather than the midfielders and stuff. I thought he was excellent actually, and I thought Kante was excellent. Apart from that, there weren't too many two-star performances. Mendy as well, I thought was good as well. So for me,
Mendy's just got to stop kicking that ball out to position attackers, man.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple of times now, it scares the hell out of me.
It's never going to be his strong suit, unfortunately. Like that's just what we can do is just limit. Try and find out where he likes to receive the ball as best as possible, and try and give it to him, whether it's on his left or his right or a setting, whatever, and keep it simple. But I think with Mendy, you have to accept that the ball is just going to go wide every now and then. Just the performance, like the first time, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed with the attackers, especially after the combination play and everything I'd seen on Wednesday. I just felt like there wasn't too many real moments of quality in that first half, and but obviously once time starts to ebb away and obviously we had the penalty scare. The intensity seemed to go up in the team. The substitutions that were made. I thought Kante was consistent in driving us forward. I thought Kovačić coming on definitely gave us better control of the midfield. He drove. He was better driving the ball probably than the other two.
I mean, two key elements or two key players for me is Kai Havertz scoring a late winner and Ziyech scoring a late winner the other week. So, Chelsea don't normally get a lot of these, and to get two late winners in close proximity is pretty good. I want to bring in DJ. Sorry, but I want to bring in DJ Sav. Yeah, DJ Sav was actually at the game, so he watched it from the stadium. DJ, if you can give us a little bit of an insight to the atmosphere before the game, during the game, after the game, the fans, how they were reacting, the actual staff as well. If you interacted with any of the staff, how their morale was. Just give us an insight, please.
Yeah, obviously the fans obviously were pretty. Obviously, when we got to when I was at the ground, it was a bit slightly quiet, obviously because of all the surroundings that's going on with us. However, we did obviously started to find our voice during the game as the game started kicking off and getting closer to kick-off. Voices started to be heard. Obviously we didn't sing. There was that we got this thing about don't sing Roman's name during a certain time period, which we did not do. Fans didn't do that, and they respected that. Obviously, the game kicked off. Obviously the cheers started. Roman's name did start getting sang out by some sections of the fans, as we always do, sing his name. Generally, in terms of staff, I didn't really see much around. All I was obviously concentrating on the game, obviously listening to what the fans are saying. I think the Newcastle fans were bantering us quite a bit with "We're going to be bought by Mike Ashley," which was going around the football ground as well, which I found completely hilarious. But no, the atmosphere generally was good, mate. Obviously, the game in itself wasn't the greatest. I mean, obviously we got our goal. The team itself, I think the team in itself, compared to the early start they made against Norwich in midweek, I think we tried to do the same thing with Newcastle. Obviously didn't get that. We couldn't do that. But yeah, the atmosphere generally, Mo, was generally good. I mean, we all found our voice eventually, and Roman's name was sung out respectively, as he would have done. And yeah, in the end, I think we just wanted to get that goal. And then finally, when the goal came, you guys probably would have heard the stadium just completely hit when the goal went in. And we could have even got a second goal straight after that when Kai Havertz had his shot saved. It came off the crossbar. You could have been 2-0 then. He could have even had a hat-trick today, had his header not gone straight to the goalkeeper as well today. So Kai Havertz was involved in quite a lot today. I'd say on top of in the game in general today, I thought Kante obviously was one of our best performers on the pitch today. Rudiger, he did a bit of I don't know if you guys saw a bit of what do you call it? How do I use it? Jokership today. When one of the passes, the pass came down, he did that little jumper with his leg over and teased it and then kicked the ball. That was funny as well, seeing that today. I mean, look, Rudiger plays with his heart on his sleeve. They all do. And today, you know, it showed it today. And with our manager's comments after, it says you everything you want to know about what our football club is going through at this moment in time with the fans and everyone. But look, we're going to come through this, guys. You know, the game generally was a good game. We got the win. That's what counts. We won ugly and we won the game, mate. That's what counts in the end.
Yeah, I think I'll have to say this, though. The game had ugly parts to it, but I think it was brought to us by Newcastle. Newcastle played an ugly game. You know, and I said it in my opening remarks. I think they want to take advantage of the situation that we're in. But you know, end of the day, they didn't have enough to do that. So you know, I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. Before I go to the next panelist, lads, there's 220 of you currently in the stream. Do me a favor and get the likes up, because we're still on like 75 likes. So if everyone here would hit the like button now, we'd get over 200 likes. So very much appreciate it if you can do me that favor and hit the like button to celebrate a win for Chelsea under very, very hard and tough circumstances. And if you're new, subscribe. You'll enjoy the content on this channel. Who wants to go next?
Right, go on, I'll go next, right? So, you know what, actually, I'm going to do something from the start of next season, right? Every press conference there is, and I mean this, you can hold me to this, yeah? Every press conference there is, I am going to count how many stupid questions are asked at press conferences, right? Because it's beyond a joke. Because I've got to consider, how are these guys getting...
Chris, I'll save you a little bit of trouble, and I'll ask you to count how many good questions are asked, because that would make it easier, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for making my life easy, mate. You know what? I'll do both. Okay. I like a challenge, mate. Right. So basically, it just shows you how important it is to have Tuchel as the manager, because he answers the questions better than anybody. I see some managers lose it, and it's like Tuchel just keeps a calm head and he answers it the best way possible. So. Yeah, the journalist. Like, I just thought of a question there. Tuchel, considering the situation with the club, how important was that win today? But no, they want to talk about Saudi Arabian flags, etc. It's just pathetic. In terms of the formation, I think that's important as well, because as you say, with sudden changes, obviously Reece James having the issue, Azpilicueta was out, Marcus Alonso with Corona. It's important to have a plan B, you know. So I think it's very important that we can do that. Kante. What a performance today, I've got to say. Big up Kante. So yeah, I mean, it's Podfather and you, Mo, touched on it in the first part. Yeah, very important. So yeah, it's just the journalists. Ask better questions, please. Please, just ask better questions, honestly.
Was Chalobah fouling the Newcastle player? Was that a penalty? Was that a poor decision? What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That 100% penalty. That was a penalty.
No, but can I just say on that mode, you know penalty thing, right? The penalty thing, right? That is a penalty.
I disagree. It's not a penalty.
No. I just want to say that is a penalty. I'll put my hands up. But you know what? It's about time we got a decision go our way. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That true, Chris.
You know, two decisions that when they happened, I thought to myself, with everything that's going on, Kai Havertz is about to get sent off, and Chalobah just conceded a penalty. Because for those decisions to go our way, under the circumstances...
I'm shocked.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, though, Mo? To what you just said about Kai Havertz being sent off, I mean, that challenge is no different to what Mane did to Azpilicueta with the Liverpool match, if you remember. The difference is the defender was tall. So obviously, when everyone knows when you're jumping up in the air, your arms are going up. It's not like Havertz actually saw him behind him and goes, I'm going to use my elbow on him. He just basically jumped up and his elbow went up. You jump with your elbows, and his elbows caught him. But when people are saying it's a sending off, I disagree. I don't think it's a sending off. But I will say,
I don't think it was a sending off. I don't think it was a sending off.
No,
I just think that under the circumstances, they would have taken any excuse.
Oh yeah,
They would have taken him off. Yeah, but yeah. No, but Chalobah, in my opinion, it was a penalty. It was a clear-cut penalty. I mean, he nearly ripped his shirt off. So, let me bring in LB. LB, it's been a minute. How are you? How you doing, my man?
Yo, what's good, Captain? You right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Tell me how you feel about the game and the result.
Yeah. No, I watched it still, and you know what? I'm happy to get 3 points. Listen, we're going through a tumultuous time at this moment at top, and so to see the boys, grind out a 1-0 win, fantastic. Always got to appreciate when your team can grind out a result when they're not playing the absolute best in a particular match. For me, you know me, I like to break down the nice of the game. Listen, you know what it was, right? I saw the first half. Newcastle were putting on a good defense, making sure they were putting a bit of a low block in there as well, trying to hit us with a fast counter. So I saw that. I said, all right, cool. I wasn't too, I could understand Werner was playing all right. I think they were doing okay. Havertz okay. Mount was doing okay. I think the team was playing generally okay. My issue is speed of passing now, right? Because I think this is what happens when I see us play sometimes. The pace, the tempo we play at. If you're playing a team that's going to be playing this low block, we need that speed to be up again. Like when you're doing them passes, we're delivering on the ball a bit too much, right? So whenever someone's got a low block and you're doing that slow pass and meandering the ball from side to side, and then you don't cross the ball in either, so then it's like, bro, we're just literally passing the ball from side to side, and it's monotonous, and it's not shifting any of the defense. And I've seen this time and time again from the Chelsea team. I don't mind us having possession, but let's be penetrative with the possession. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got Havertz who wants to make these runs, go behind, move the ball quicker, right? Take a risk, move the ball quicker. Someone's going to execute the final pass, quick final pass into that man. Let's try and see what we can do. Unsettle them a little bit. It's just too much side to side for me. Second half, I think it was slightly, I can't even say slightly better. I think it was the same thing again. They were pressing us as well. And then what's frustrating me is when they did take off Werner to bring on Lukaku. I'm not going to be against Lukaku, right? But I honestly think to this team, yeah, I'm questioning whether it's the manager or it's the players themselves. But I'm getting tired of seeing Lukaku, who's a strong striker, and you don't pass the ball into his feet early so we can start moving off him. If you're bringing Lukaku on, the game plan changes. Either we're crossing the ball in from to head the ball in, or you're doing a quick, short, sharp pass to him to feet with his back to goal, and we've got runners going past him. Otherwise, it's a waste. In fact, when you saw him come on, what happened is Newcastle moved the line even higher up because we had no pace, right? And then Havertz is doing a beautiful job, but he's dropping deep. So you got Havertz dropping into the centre circle. You got Lukaku staying at the defender's edge, but there's no ball going over the top. There's no ball going quickly to his feet. There is none of that. And so all the ball happens going side to side, side to side, side to side. We have no, beautiful wingers anymore. Our wing backs are obviously injured with Chilwell and Reece James, right? So you haven't even got that sexy width that we usually have. Usually we have that lovely width. We don't have it. So if we don't have it, the game plan has to change. If you're going to bring on Lukaku, use him. I am sick and tired of seeing Jorginho, Mount, anybody in that centre circle, even Kante at points. Get the ball, you can see a clear path to Lukaku, you pass it side. Why? What has he done? Has he pissed you guys off or something? Has he done something to you? Because I'm asking. I want to win games. When you're in school, you used to have that guy that hogged the ball. I don't like that player. But do you know what? When you need to win a game, I'm gonna get you the ball, bro, because I want to win the game. So something's not quite fitting in. And as much as I want to blame Lukaku, no, the team has to take authority now and say, look, we can see you in open space and we're not passing the ball to you. So I think there's some areas that we can work on. I'm loving the fact that Kai Havertz, King Kai came out and did what he did. But we need to start moving the ball quicker. It's too monotonous slow.
I get you, and I agree with you. But don't you think the circumstances, and again, we can blame the circumstances.
Yeah,
might not be, but the circumstances that we're in right now kind of can be used as an excuse for maybe a little bit of a lack of focus, a little bit of a lack of concentration. I mean, I know we've had this in the past as well. This isn't something that just happened, but do you think the fact that you bring in Lukaku, who's going through a little bit of a problematic period, in a team that is going through this climate of
change, is it affecting the team? You think
it's affecting? Yeah, it's affecting.
It's not. It's not. It's the boys have shown us that they got a tough mindset, and to be honest, we tend to win when we're in the worst shape possible. So I'm not even giving them an excuse. This has been happening since once he got. I think he got a slight pick up a knock earlier on the season. After that, he went out and came back in. Since then, the ball has not found him in the. Like, I'm a midfielder. One of the things, like, I'm looking at him, thinking to myself, I'm from a midfielder perspective. You have a striker like that. We got two mad options. Either I'm slipping the ball to wingers and letting the wingers zip a ball in beautifully in for Lukaku to head the ball, out muscle a guy and score a goal. We've seen him do it before. Or one of the midfielders is going to take it upon himself. Someone like Kovačić, who plays beautiful football, that drives. I want to see Kovačić drive, pass ball to him, get the ball, get the layoff, move the ball again. We're not doing none of that, bro. So that's not Lukaku only.
Can I say something about this?
Can I please? I just want to say, I think that's very right, but that has been the deficiency in the team, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is the midfield.
Yeah.
We have 3 excellent midfielders, but they're more ball winners than creators.
I see.
If you notice, there was a time that it was glaring that Kante did all the dribbling, all the running, and there it was. He just had to feed the ball quickly to Lukaku, who was begging for it at his feet. Yeah. But he didn't, because he doesn't have the instinct. There was also an instance where Kovačić dribbles past everybody, gets to a clear shooting opportunity, but he turns around and passes it. Why? Because he doesn't have the ability. So that has been our deficiency for a long time. And that's why we were always on the process of getting someone like Tchouameni, getting someone like Rice. That's why they're on our radar. And that's why we've got to get this sale down quickly. And another thing that happened today is, what on earth is happening to Mason Mount? He was dreadful. I don't really want to start players off.
Couch critics said it. The man needs a haircut. Once he gets the haircut,
Bobby,
Sorry, Mason Mount. I love him as a player, as a character, as a he's an important part of the team. But he really needs to start to see, that he isn't performing, and he's got to address it. He's got to do something about it. I'm not a coach. I don't know how to address it, but he needs to.
Now, Mason Mount was okay, if not good today. He's pretty much the only guy that is chasing, tackling, all those. You see him in more difficult position. He's pretty much when you see any physical challenge, he's always there. And when you are in a physical challenge, it's not even about quality; it's about disrupt something. So he is doing it. That kid putting his leg. I just don't understand.
That's part of the problem, isn't it?
What?
We appreciate that part of his game, but we need more than that. We've got a team full of midfield breakers and tacklers and chasers and pressers and nobody can create.
We have Kante, we have Jorginho, we have Kovačić.
Can I ask you guys a question? So you have Werner on the field as a striker. Mason Mount is supposed to play behind those lines. What is his job there? Everybody has a job. It's not about the quality. It's not about being like a Kai Havertz. If Kai Havertz was not on the field and Mason Mount was given all the freedom to play,
you know what, mate? I just want to.
He will show better. Okay, I understand people don't see stuff that as the way I see the game. Also, I mean, I understand that, but I think the work that Mason Mount put out there today was amazing. Newcastle, we all start saying Newcastle was really physical. Just go rewatch the game. You see, Mason Mount was pretty much in all the physical challenge to win that game, the ball back, especially when we are in the Newcastle half. He is always there. And the kid didn't care about his leg being broken. So we need to at least
look, I love
recognize that. And so he did his job. That's what his job was today. It wasn't about
Look,
being.
he looks a bit like Prince Charming. I'll say that. Ever since he's looked a bit like Prince Charming, his form's dipped. But it's nothing to do
I
with
don't
that.
think his form is up. It
No,
did,
no,
but
yeah,
that's
no,
the job that was given to him now.
Hold on,
Anyways,
hold
I would
on,
like
hold on. Let's just take one break for 1 second. I want to hear from Nick. Nick, welcome to the stream. Were you at the game? How did you say hello to the guy? He's been here 15 minutes.
I was. Yeah, big up, chaps. Yes, I was.
Big up,
today.
big up, Nick. Big up, Nick.
welcome,
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah, it was. It wasn't
tell me.
brilliant. Yeah,
You
Pick
go.
up, Nick.
Go on.
yeah, it wasn't a brilliant game, but as you know, but we came, to life right at the end in the second half. Thank God, thanks to the brilliant Kai Havertz. He's really reminded me of Hazard. Now he could be the next Hazard, even if he could go better. Even he's really showing what he can do. He's everywhere. Yeah, Mason Mount wasn't rubbish, but he just he didn't have a great game. So I wasn't surprised to see him come off because we needed to win this game to bring up the morale, make him it was more about morale than winning 3 points. And Mason Mount came on. Only brought cover. You see what Tuchel did? He brings cover on Lukaku to be a nuisance in the box. He didn't get the ball enough, as he never does, because it's the way we play. We play, fast, passing, attacking football, and it doesn't suit Lukaku right now. Lukaku he will come good, but they're not used to playing with him at the moment. They're more used to Havertz and Werner. Werner was very poor. I'm glad he had to come off earlier, really. But Kante, Kova, Havertz, Rudiger, what a man, what a leader he is. We rest Thiago and we have Rudiger doing the work today. That's what you have. Chalobah wasn't very good. We're very lucky it wasn't a play. They didn't give a penalty because the ref wasn't in line with the play. He didn't see it. The ref didn't see it, but it was a penalty. But we got the decision at last. By the time we got some decisions, they wanted to send off Havertz, but it didn't work. So it's about time we got the decisions, and I'm glad. And you saw what a great goal he scored, and what a great pass. God mentioned Jorginho. He wasn't brilliant, in the game, but he was good. He matters a lot in our system. He picks little balls out. He's always there. He's a world-class player. Only a world-class player can make that pass. And a world-class player to finish it. Yeah, we sang Roman Boogie. We sang Roman's song, but I wanted the whole crowd to sing it, but they didn't. But we did sing it. Yeah.
Cheers, Nick. Man, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but when it comes to Lukaku, listen, Lukaku knows how we play. Lukaku has we tried Lukaku 9 games consecutively, and we saw what he can give to us. Lukaku is training with that team, that group of players. So for me, I understand the midfield has to release the ball when they see Lukaku, but they've seen something in training that it's not getting the confidence from them to give the ball to them. So it's just something Lukaku has to earn. For me, it's just that simple. Lukaku didn't come to the gym yesterday. He was here during for the last since the start of the season, and they've been training together. We play Lukaku, so it's good to have Lukaku problem. I'd love to have it before this whole Roman thing started, but now I don't. As long as we have a win, I don't care if Lukaku touched the ball or not. I just want to win the game and move on. And next game, hopefully Lukaku start on the bench, Kai start again, and he gets some minute. But Lukaku has to change his style. Nobody will have to change their style to give the ball, pass the ball to Lukaku like quick or whatever. He needs to come to the middle and do exactly what Kai is doing, or do exactly what the team need. Tuchel's system is simple. Everybody has to move, chase, take the ball, run with it, do something with it. You start there, you're never gonna get the ball. That's why people keep moving the ball. When you have Jorginho and Kovacic, that's what they do: pass the ball around, dribble, pass the ball around. Like Bobby said, Kovacic can run with the ball and see the goalkeeper. He will not shoot. He will take the ball back and pass it. That's who he is. That's what he is getting paid for. So Lukaku just need to know what kind of midfield he has behind him and come and take the ball. Also involve himself into the play, not standing somewhere waiting for the pass. That's Chelsea. That's how it's going to go. And I have no sympathy for Lukaku at this moment.
Boogie, I think you can look at it from two angles. Yeah. So one, I don't think it's fair to say for me, Mason was the man of the match against Norwich. So all this, he hasn't played well in a long time. I think he played excellently in the last game. In terms of the Lukaku thing, yeah, 100% he's. But I don't think it was a coincidence that all three of Kai's chances came on after Lukaku comes on, because then he frees the space up. He can make the runs. He's no more the focal point. Yeah, Lukaku is the one being marked in the box. I'm not saying he had a good performance. I'm just saying that it makes a difference. So all of a sudden, Kai, who couldn't get any shots off, was not really in the game in terms of attacking, getting a shot off throughout the whole 70 minutes. All of a sudden, gets 3 opportunities in quick succession, and all those 3 opportunities, he's not the main guy being marked on the ball. You know, so I think Werner's play didn't help him at all. I don't think Werner was a factor in the attacking. Even just Lukaku's physical presence was enough for me to free.
I still disagree with anybody saying stuff like that. Lukaku has started a lot of game in Chelsea shirt, and it didn't give high.
I'm just saying
10 goals or 2 goals per game. No,
I'm just saying on today's game,
to score a goal, he needs to score them. Not saying Lukaku is the one distracting a defender, and that's why Kai Havertz scored. I don't care about it. He needs to do his job. If he cannot adapt, he will have to sit on the bench. That's all it is.
But Boogie, the point is that Kai Havertz throughout the whole game wasn't in the game. The whole 70 minutes, he wasn't in the game. He didn't.
A Newcastle defender were tired at that time. They have lack of.
They were, but then he was able to move around more because he has somebody who's going to be in the center all the time.
We just to disagree on this one. I refuse to take any credit of Kai Havertz and give it to.
No, I'm not taking credit off him. I'm saying that you want to get the best out of him, and that's a variety of things. So Werner didn't play well today, so you couldn't combine with him. Mason didn't play well today, you couldn't combine with him. Ziyech was average today. So Kai is not a magician. He's not going to do everything by himself. You know. So I think that substitution was good and didn't have an effect.
Listen. The game is not going to be played. It's not going to feel like a regular game. No matter what we have done in preparation for this game, no matter what Tuchel chose as players to play this game, it was always going to play in this way because of what is going on outside of football. So we can't really criticize too much. I think there were good performances, there were bad performances, there were average performances by players in the first half. The second half, I think we need to take it in the context of the way and the when and the way it was played. The context is important. I've got Julius on. Julius, I hope you're feeling better, my brother. How are you? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you feeling today? You feeling good?
Yeah, still tired, but way better.
I hope you make a full recovery, my brother. I hope you make a full recovery. Julius, tell me what your thoughts and opinions were in respect to the game today.
You covered it very well, Mo. For me, it's about the result at the end. I think we did better than what we expected because I always worry about Newcastle in general, let alone now that we're having so much negativity outside football and all the pressure on the club and the problems that we're facing. It's time to stick together and to back the players, all of them. Even I know Lukaku does get a lot of criticism and stuff, but we have to back them and be one in these days. So that's how I look at it, and I feel that the fans in the stadium have been also very passionate. I felt that the atmosphere was on fire today, and I think it's that sense of tribalism where we're getting closer, and I think the fan base has never been united as much as now. So it's very tough days, and we have to back the players, whether they play good or bad, because it's not easy what they're going through, and us to still win and be on a winning streak and be consistent. It's a statement, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this will be a good point to move to the second topic, which is the future of Chelsea Football Club and where it could end up. I'm going to let you, Julius, kick us off on this. But as it stands, and as per reporting before, during the game, it looks like a decision will be made next Friday. A decision will be made, or the bids will be assessed this Friday. I mean, it's not clear, but Friday is a crucial date because this is when we're going to get some sort of an answer in respect to who is actually bidding, who has bidded, how much is their bid, and right now it looks like there is a few British bidders keen on the club. There's a few consortiums that cost the pond, so British / American, Swiss / American, and there's also an apparent interest from a Saudi group, or maybe groups. And the reason why I say groups is because we've had a figure of 200 bids have come in for Chelsea Football Club. 200 bids. The ones that we're familiar with, the ones that we've heard about, are between 5 to 10 bids, or 5 to 10 entities bidding for Chelsea Football Club. So there's a lot more. There's 95% of the bids that are going in we don't really know much about. And to be fair, from our experience with our club, and especially this administration of our club, they like to do things quietly. They like to do things away from the spotlight. And things that do get leaked, they're normally leaked because the club wants them to be leaked. The club wants people to know that we are getting X and Y bid coming in from X and Y bidder, because this could have a positive effect on the actual process. Because if people know that the Saudis are interested, then they know they're going to have to bring in the A game, because they're going to be faced with some big money. So we started to hear yesterday, today, this bidder wants to do this for the club. He wants to improve the academy. He wants to improve the women's team, the men's team, the stadium, developing this, developing that. This other individual wants to do this. This other individual wants to do that. The bidders are now talking about their vision, their plan for the future. It's important for us to know this as fans. And I want to get a sense of you guys here on the panel, and also those of you watching in the chat, what your impressions are, what your expectations are. How do you think this is going to pan out? And what would be the best case scenario, worst case scenario for you? So these are all points I want you to think about when addressing this topic. Before I open it up for discussion, I want to ask you all to do me a favor and hit the like button. We've already passed 100 likes, so thank you for doing that. But if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. Julius, I want you to kick us off on your expectations and your impression on the current situation. Take it away, brother.
Yeah, thank you. I did hear that there is about 300 parties involved in the bidding war, which is not which is not surprising. Um, I am more excited personally about the Saudi group because I know the region is very passionate about football, and when they purchase or invest into something like Chelsea, for example, they would not do it for the money. They would do it for success because they would want us to succeed. They care too much about the image, the branding, and all these factors. And they will also make sure to increase our revenues because they have so much access to wealth with getting us maybe bigger sponsors from that region as well. And you could see live examples of clubs owned by Middle Easterns. Yes, I think PSG is not a great example, but in my opinion, what I take from them is they want someone, they'll go get him. The way they recruit is just chaotic a little bit. If you can bring that power and make it in a structural way with the proper people in charge, we can be a force. And we have the foundation. Also, if you look at City, they're very efficient. They spend so much money for sure, but they're very efficient. That's why they're very successful. And you have to look at it this way. City was nothing when they were bought by Emirates, I think, right? We have the foundation. We are a huge club already. Imagine you bring that sort of money and cash and access to wealth with the systems that we have already and the people we have in the club. We're going to be even better than City, in my opinion, because we have a way bigger fan base. We have a bigger brand. Yet, I think what worries me, on the other hand, the Americans, because we have a couple of examples in the country, like Arsenal, United, Liverpool, who are not well run because they do spend money. However, they do not understand the culture of football. There is always toxicity. And people want to tell me Liverpool this, Liverpool that. It's because Klopp. When Klopp is gone, Liverpool will go back to mediocrity. And Americans, they usually milk the club. They do it for pure business, not for success. I am not interested in that. At the end of the day, for me, what matters is you can be from anywhere as long as you're going to show us that you care for the club and you want it to progress, not take it as a business. I'm all in. For me, Arabs is a guaranteed win-win. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I think Saudi media is we want to hope that they are the ones buying us at the end.
I just wanna see, especially if it's the Arabs, I want to see some sort of connection between the old administration and the new one. I don't want to see the Saudi media group come in and totally rearrange the back office. You know, the Marina, the Petr Cech, and the others. They are going to have to make some changes. But I want to see some sort of connection between the old and the new to have that transition become a little bit more smoother. And at the same time, see some sort of continuance or some sort of building on what we had established as a foundation already. Whoever wants to jump in, go ahead.
Yeah, there's something about Chelsea that I like is the ruthless of our board, the way they don't settle for a mediocrity, whether it is the coach level or whether it is the player level. So I'm not too sure that money will keep that at Chelsea. That's my only concern. Because I always think Abramovic, the way he settled his board, is something that even coaches are not they have to perform at the top level to keep their job. They cannot. So I'm not sure if the Arabs come in or American come in, would they just keep like? If the, too, we have a chance enough. We are lucky enough right now to have Tuchel as one of our coach. So I'm not sure.
The Arabs sacked Tuchel even though he got them to a Champions League final. So just as a context.
Yeah, but that's what I would love to have. If they keep Tuchel, I'm okay with it. But as soon as Tuchel's the results are not there, they have to be able to.
I'm talking about the example you gave as being ruthless. The Arabs, the Qataris, they sacked Thomas Tuchel.
In PSG.
Yeah, even though he got them to a Champions League final, and they kicked out Thiago Silva. So I'm just saying.
Are they the one, or was the AC Milan midfielder, the Brazilian? That I think he was having some personal issue with Tuchel back Leonardo. He's a sporting director in PSG, right? I think he's having some personal issue.
Yeah,
with
sure,
Tuchel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it was him that let Tuchel go and refused to renew Thiago Silva, or it is actually the Qatari or that decided that because of the mediocrity. But I would like to have that how do you say, that way of managing the club where when there is no result, someone has to pay for it, whether it is the coach, whether it is the players, or someone has to go when we're not reaching that level we expect to be. So that's all. Money coming, I'm happy, but we need to keep some tradition at the club. So that's the reason why I love Chelsea. That's why I'm a fan. So.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone knows my thoughts on the potential of American ownership. No chance, okay? Not a direction that I want to see Chelsea Football Club go in, okay? Because I've seen enough evidence at other clubs to suggest that it just doesn't work. Manchester United, mess. Arsenal are a mess. People can talk about Liverpool. Liverpool were a mess before Klopp came in. They won the lottery under Klopp. Klopp made the best decisions for that club, not FSG. No chance for American ownership. What I would want to see Chelsea go in is the Arab direction, Saudis, or another European. I do not want to see any American ownership at my club whatsoever. Honestly, if we get Americans, like people can say, yeah, but it could work. I'm not willing to risk my club's future on an if. No, I want to see a clear plan, or I want to continue the Roman Abramovic era. And build on it, and build on success and win. I don't want to see Americans come in and turn it into a franchise. Really? No chance. Arabs, Saudis, another European. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to see. American ownership, no chance. No way to Americans. No.
Can I have a word just to come on? And
one second. One second, Nick. Qataris are Arabs. Qataris are Arabs, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So much is...
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
Someone is taking
personal. I agree with Chris about the Americans. I don't want any American owners either. I wouldn't mind the Saudis. Could be, if they're anywhere near like cities owners, I'll be, really glad to have them. They would make us even better. But I must mention Nick Candy, and 40-year Chelsea fan is like a bit like Matthew Harding. This guy, he's not Matthew Harding, but he's similar. Me, I prefer him because only because he supports Chelsea, and he has done for 40 years. He's a property developer, as you know. He will rebuild Stamford Bridge, or make it bigger. That's what he's saying anyway. He was talking today, I think, about it, and that's what the main two I will go for. Whoever comes in, the sooner the better, because we haven't got time. We need an owner as soon as possible. So let's hope we stand by Friday. Some good news or something, because it won't be easy to carry on if we don't get an owner. And a good owner.
Yeah. Look, I have to admit, I like what I've heard from Nick Candy. Being a fan is a big factor. However, does he have deep enough pockets to ensure success for Chelsea?
Yeah, I don't think he does, mate. No.
That is the issue I have.
He's got a group, Mo. He's got a group with him, so it depends how big this group is. We don't really know. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you know, he can't do it by himself.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, what he said is he is bidding, and if he doesn't get it, he hopes whoever does get it is able to continue the legacy, to continue the success, etc., etc. So, as any Chelsea fan would say, so if he is bidding, I'm quite confident that he is going to be doing it in a way where he isn't going to be pushing away a bidder that can ensure success. I think for him it will be about the club. So again, there is another factor. The fact that he is British will take us away from all this geopolitical turmoil that keeps happening, on this planet, and it keeps putting pressure on us. And maybe other clubs will start to look at us as, an English club, rather than hating and fighting and keeping us pushed away, with every opportunity we get. So
that won't happen.
We'll see.
The rivals will always hate us. They always have, but we don't mind. We're used to it. I like it when they hate us because we play even better.
Is rivals? I'm going to say this. I've been avoiding saying this, but are they really rivals? Are they really rivals right now? I mean, is Arsenal Football Club really a rival to Chelsea? Yes. Is Tottenham really a rival to Chelsea? They're not rivals. They're in the same city as us. They're like a few miles away.
Tottenham
they're not rivals
right now. Liverpool are big rivals. Liverpool is the biggest rival right now. Then Man United. Then you have Tottenham and Arsenal behind at the moment. That's how it goes. Liverpool is a rival because we're fighting for the same things, and we're against each other all the time. That they are our main rivals. They have been for a few years now.
I would say Liverpool, Manchester United to a certain degree, Man City. These are the clubs I would classify as rivals. I mean, Arsenal right now, they're like, they're fourth. They're challenging for Champions League spot. But they're not rivals because if you take into account the amount of fixtures we have to play week in, week out, to what they have. I mean, if they had to do what we had to do, they'd be in relegation right now. So they're not rivals. They're not rivals.
That's still about the rivals like we used to see Arsenal. One time they were very big rivals, but not right now.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
But
they were.
Concerning.
Go on, Bobby. Sorry, but.
Concerning Nick Candy, it's quite clear that he has to have people backing him to be able to make any sensible ownership work with Chelsea. The fact that he's a fan, he's supported Chelsea from the age of 4, like myself, is huge because, his heart will be the success of the club. But you were talking about geopolitical influences. I can't see any purely British ownership taking over. It's going to have to be. It could have some British members of the consortium, but the money will have to come internationally. It would be nice if he could team up with the Arab consortium, if at all it's true that they're going to bid. But I don't see that happening either. I think they would want to go on their own if they're coming in. It's an interesting one. The truth of the matter is that Chelsea is an extraordinarily fantastic opportunity for anybody that has the capacity to own a club However, you've got to have deep pockets. Let's not kid ourselves. You've got to have deep pockets. Not only have you got to make the purchase, but then you've got to build the stadium and you've got to secure players. And then, secure the general financing of the club. We're already talking close to 5 billion to start off. So it's not small fry at all. And the only people that I can envisage being able to do that are the Arab groups, simply because not only do they have the money, but just as Julius said, they tend to have the culture to want to win in this industry.
Yeah, look, you can't really get away from. And this is why I said it in my video about what's happening to Roman Abramovich now is not a good look, because where do you cross the line in regards to seizing a club? Because the allegations that have been put to Roman could be put to anyone, and they could take action against them before the allegations are actually dealt with in a court of law. And that is a problem. And we're talking about geopolitics and Saudis. I mean, I'm pretty sure even if Nick Candia was to come in, he'd probably have a couple of foreigners backing him. And the fact that he has a couple of foreigners backing him, does that make him liable to whatever that country that these foreigners come from is involved in? So it's where do you cross the line? Do you know what I mean? And this for me is a little bit of a problematic issue, especially moving forwards. With the size of these ventures, they are going to be so big that no individual is going to be able to buy a club as we had in the past.
I just want to say, I think this is where an understanding of geopolitics comes into play. Yeah, like Saudi is very different from Russia. You know what I mean? Like their relationship and roots go way back, and their economies. Look.
I know exactly what you're going to say. There are contracts between the UK government and Saudi Arabia that the UK government cannot do without, and the same for other countries. Right? And we're talking billions, hundreds of billions of pounds. All right, and it's to do with also what's going on between Saudi Arabia and their neighbors, Yemen. Okay, so I know that certain backers, certain issues, certain geopolitical consortiums are going to be hard to put in the same bracket as Roman Abramovich. But what I'm saying is there could be a situation arising at some point in the future where something like this could happen to the Saudis, to the Emiratis, to the Qataris. And by the way, there are, what is happening in the Middle East today and what is going to happen in the Middle East in the future is something that is very, very volatile. And you cannot imagine, you cannot contemplate how volatile that region is. Okay, your friend today, your best friend today, will be your enemy tomorrow. In a heartbeat.
It could, Mo, but I think as much as we like to think that alliances just change like that, they don't. You know what I mean? Like they're saying things. America and England will always be on the same page, no matter what. Doesn't matter what country does to the other.
Saddam Hussein. Took his country to war for 8 years. Saddam Hussein took his country to war for 8 years against his neighbor. He was being backed militarily, financially, any way you can imagine. They were supporting him. All right. The war finished with him unable to defeat his neighbor. Within 5 years, they attacked him. Within 5 years, they attacked him. All right.
Yeah, but I understand that 100%. Obviously, you know more about that situation than any of us. But I just think the Saudi thing is more a case of they control pretty much global oil supply. It's not a matter of you deciding whether you want to do business with me or not. You're just gonna have to, whether you want to or not. It's not really your decision at this point. Trust me. If you look at the history of Saudi and the things they've been involved with, if they haven't sanctioned them by now, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get too political. They're not going to do it. Yeah, they've
Well,
done
if
a lot and been involved in a lot and had links to a lot. You can just do your research yourself if you
I
really want
agree.
to find
if
Things
if
change.
there's anything this conflict has taught us is that they can sanction anybody, because when
No,
you
but
realize that
Bobby,
Russia
Russia.
supplies gas to practically all of Europe and is still being sanctioned, Saudi Arabia is on the cusp of a problem, and probably is only being sustained by the fact that they're making themselves useful. Look, I don't know. I think geopolitics is always delicate. High finance is always delicate. The people that are prepared to drop the high finances come from these delicate areas. That's just the truth of the matter. The issue, what we should learn here, is that sport should never be brought, and politics should never be brought into sport. Never. For the simple reason that it should be a last straw. The impact of sport on politics is almost minimal. It's almost minimal. You could say, oh, when you boycott this, that, Olympic Games, Champions League, all these things, yeah, they're symbolic, but it never really solves a problem. Especially when you have somebody that's financially integrated into an institution like Roman was. But look, hey, it's done, it's happened. The issue now is to fix it. And the fix, well, I hope they're more intelligent about fixing it than they were about breaking it. And when they select the correct bidder, the right bidder, it should be with longevity in mind, and it should be with the geopolitics in mind as well. That's just the crux of the matter. Because if we really want to get picky, you have to blame the government for allowing these people into our game in the first place.
That's what I was going to say, Bobby. It depends who has.
Hold on. Let me hear from LB and I'll come to you. Go ahead, LB.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Cap. Yeah, I mean, I'll capitalize on what Bobby's kind of said here as well. I mean, first and foremost, I'm happy to see anybody who will buy the club with enough finances, but also have a plan for future sustainability. Because I think that's the most important issue here. Roman has done a great job in putting his funds into it, and by the grace of God, the guy said, "I'll wipe off 1.5 billion." Right? That's a blessing. Yeah. But what we are looking for is whoever's going to come in. Number one is going to continue, a majority of the plan of what Roman had already set down, which is dealing with the academy, dealing with financial stability, and looking to actually get the club into a place where they're sustainable without there being a huge dumping of finances from an owner. That's where we should be going to next. That our focus is not completely dependable upon one owner dumping billions of pounds into the club. As any business, that's what you want, right? You want to make profit from your particular product or service. That's first and foremost for me. I think in regards of who should it be, whether it should be Saudi, whether it should be Americans, I'm also in the sense of the track record of Americans, it hasn't been great because of the way they see business. They see things oftentimes as franchise.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
That's not how we see things in the UK. Especially the way that we as fans view our club, and the rich history that's behind it. We need a certain type of owner. Now, it's going to be very difficult to find someone like Roman because it's that guy looked like he loved the club. I'm just going to be honest with you. He loved the club, right? So to find someone else who loves the club and doesn't see it as a business, again, is it's a very rare thing to find. Candy would be amazing if he could, but I agree. I don't know if he has the deep pockets enough to be able to run the day to day, then buy at the new stadium, then play a contract renegotiations as well, and again get us into a position of actual sustainability. I don't know if he has that kind of funds. If he does, fantastic. My final point on this also is we're going to be in the same position again, and Man City too, maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, with having someone who's Saudi or someone from outside the UK, because politics always changes. Yes, there are going to be alliances that are made, but if we've looked at anything in history, alliances, territories, nations, they shift and they move. So having somebody who's not a British owner will and definitely put us in another position where we're probably facing this again. In fact, this may become a norm for a lot of clubs who have owners who are outside of the UK. Because as soon as Britain feel like when Britain want to do something and they want to control something, this is what they do. If they don't like you, that's it. They're going to get rid of you. So we could be in this potential position again. We're just going to have to learn how to manage these kind of things. So for me, I'm not fussed if it's a Saudi, whether it's somebody from Africa or somebody in the UK. You know what I'm saying? Listen, as long as they've got the mindset that they are going to continue onwards, the plan we've already set down, which is a really good one in motion, I am fine with that. And so long as they're pushing towards sustainability, great. But we're going to have the same position again if we're having somebody outside the UK, and we have to potentially be ready for that as well. That's what I want to say.
Cheers, LB. Cheers, LB. Pod, take it away.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that alliances do shift, but we're not gonna pretend like Russia hasn't been the West or perceived as the West enemy for probably since World War II. Like it's not a new thing. It's not something that just happened. Oh, they were loving them 10 years ago, and all of a sudden they're hating them now. Like it's pretty much been since the Cold War, the state of affairs for quite a long time. And like I said, with the Saudis, yes, there's always a potential, obviously, but I think it would be harder. Let's put it like that. It would be harder to do or try and isolate them in the same way that they have done to Russia. One, from what I know about Saudi, which is not much, they're not. Even the actions they take, it's like a proxy war. Yeah, so it's not them. That's not their military going in and invading another country or whatever.
It is their military. It is their military.
Yeah. So they're not backing the rebels in Yemen. Then it's them.
No. The person backing the rebels is the person they're against. So
but that's
the proxy war that you're talking about is who's backing the rebels. So they are fighting the proxy war. So Saudi Arabia. Let me explain it. Saudi Arabia has its own tanks, airplanes, soldiers fighting in Yemen, fighting against the rebels. The rebels are the Yemeni civilians who have taken arms to protect their country from the Saudis. Now, the rebels are being backed by Iran. So Iran is sending weapons and is sending money to the Saudi Arabia. So the proxy war is Iran versus Saudi Arabia via Yemen. So so Saudi Arabia is engaged full on, and that is why Saudi Arabia has contracts with the UK, with America, with a whole bunch of countries to provide it with airplanes, with weapons, and that is why Saudi Arabia is such a valued customer right now.
Yeah. But I'm saying that's not against international law, isn't it? Because you're supposedly backing the government of the country or the rebel, just like Russia and Syria.
Because Saudi Arabia is currently fighting against Iran, an enemy of the West. Therefore, they are on the side of the West. Should Saudi Arabia decide to fight against, I don't know, maybe let's say Israel, then the whole situation would be the other way around. Then all of a sudden, Saudi Arabians are terrorists and etc. 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 You got to look at it from multiple perceptions.
Okay.
The media will make you evil like that. 1 minute you are a good guy, next minute you're the worst of the worst. We just got to be careful, man.
Bring Roman back. That's all I can say. I don't care. Hey, listen, none of those things I'm listening is reassuring to me anyway. So I just feel like,
unfortunately, Roman's not coming back.
Oh God,
Even if he was told to come back, he wouldn't. I think he would want to be well distanced from this situation for a very, very long time. No matter how much he loves the club, he's been hurt. He's been hurt deeply by this, and you better forget it.
One second. I've just seen my country named in the chat. What war are you saying that we started? To be honest, Iraq and other countries started that war. What war are you talking about, Wally?
Let's keep it Chelsea. Don't worry about it. I understand what you say, Bobby. It seems like the decision have been made, and then we're going to find one of the best owners. gone. Listen, it hurts. It still hurting right now. But as long as whoever come and give us the opportunity to keep the same trend, where it doesn't turn the team into a business or doesn't mind too much the investment, like someone like Lukaku, where we don't have like football. If anybody come in and trying to make it as a business, we end up being like a middle table team, because you're not going to take a risk investing like people like Lukaku when you're not sure if he will be giving you how do you say it? He will be performing at the level where you expect him, or the money you invest in him. So, business-wise, it's not gonna work for a top 4 team. And now, hopefully, whoever we have doesn't mind too much spending money just to spend it. And I still don't see I mean, as much as the Arab may be the one, I'm still not comfortable with them at this point. I'm not sure why.
That's what I wanted to clarify. Who's in charge of who has the final say on the sale? Is it the Rain Group or is it the government? Because I've read conflicting reports.
Roman Abramovic. Abramovic.
The Rain Group.
Yep.
Who's the Rain Group?
They're handling the
Rain Group is the bank. Yeah. Is the bank that's handling the sale. That Roman Abramovic has tossed with the transaction. So the sale will not go through until unless Roman authorizes it, and he will authorize it via the Rain Group. However,
the buyers will go first to Roman.
No, they will submit their bid to the Rain Group.
The Rain.
So the buyer go to Rain Group, and then they have to have the okay of Roman.
Yeah, of Roman Abramovich.
Yes, exactly.
And then the government decides.
So the only thing the government wants to make
the government to decide if it's
my question. Can
to
I
make
ask
sure Roman doesn't get nothing. That's what it is all about.
So the only thing is the government deciding is just to keep the money. They don't really.
Of course, they don't want Roman mustn't have nothing. That's what they.
Okay, so it's still so Roman is picking the buyer. So at the end, directly through the bank.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about it. He's going to choose the owner, and as we all know, he loves Chelsea, and he will try his best to get the right owner, because he's still going to be a fan of this club. He'll be a fan always. All his family are fanatical Chelsea fans. So we just have to hope it's the right person or company.
A question: the other club, Manchester City, has a ladies team also. Okay, so no problem. Arabs with
there's no problem with the ladies. Don't worry about the ladies. We have Marina.
No, I'm just talking about women's sports. Women's sports. Arab don't mind women's sport, right?
Hold on. Let me just explain something. Wally, I didn't take offense, mate. I didn't take offense. Iraq has been in wars since 1979. From 1979 till this day, Iraq has been involved in wars, and a lot of it is because of the geopolitics, the regional geopolitics. Unfortunately, my people are suffering because of the geopolitics, and it's been turned around to be against the West one day, against our neighbors the next day. And at the end of the day, it's the people who are suffering. And that is why I get quite angry when I see anything being pushed against the country of Iraq, because a lot of it is outside of the hands of the people. Today, and I want to give you a bit of information. We had elections in, I believe it was October. We had elections in October. All right? We're in March right now, and we still haven't chosen a government. We're in March, we had the elections in October. So there is a lot of corruption, there's a lot of turmoil in the Middle East. The Middle East is a volatile region, and getting into business with someone from that region, we have to be careful. Now, I am all for the investors. I'm all for the money. I'm all for the passion that they bring in. Okay, but when you take that gamble, be prepared to be in this situation 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Because 20 years ago, when Roman Abramovich came and bought Chelsea Football Club, there were question marks surrounding his name. However, because he was going to come in and make this massive investment into the heart of London, the government overlooked some of these issues. Now, if we actually look at why the government is taking action against Roman, it's not about what he's done since he became the owner of Chelsea Football Club. It's what he done before he became owner of Chelsea Football Club. His relationship and his dealings with Putin before he became owner of Chelsea Football Club. How did he acquire that wealth, that money? And that is the issue that they're having with Roman today. So when an owner comes in to buy Chelsea Football Club today, we as a club need to learn from our history. I'm all for getting an Arab owner because I know the impact that it's going to have on the club and the push and the drive and the energy that they will bring. Arabs love football. Arabs love football. Chelsea Football Club will gain a lot of money, a lot of revenue from the Middle East. Chelsea Football Club will become a massive, massive global brand. We're big, we'll be bigger. But all of that, you got to weigh it to what could go wrong in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Because we could be back here in another 2 decades. So I'm just saying, we need to address this with, without being, I don't want to use the word greedy, but I want to use the word, we need to be logical. We need to be aware of what it is that we're doing. Let's not just jump in without thinking about it.
Well, great sales pitch for Nick Candy, by the way. Let me just address what you've said. You see, Chelsea is at a point where the next step is an enormous initial investment, and then the club has to be self-sustainable. If, for example, a new stadium is built and initial investment is made into the playing staff and also the sustenance of the academy, in the next era, 5, 10 years, we won't be in this position. We should be self-sufficient, and that should be one of the things that should be looked at before the purchase. One of the things should be, okay, after you've made this initial investment, will the club be able to sustain itself without you? And if the answer is yes, that is the plan, then it really doesn't matter what the geopolitics says, because the club will be an entity, albeit affiliated to its investors, but the club will be an entity in itself. Now, the investors may want to keep hold of a strong affiliation, maybe to protect themselves from any future geopolitical situation. But that's where the intelligence of the government comes in. You have to have people that are prepared to just be taking grants, as you were, or profits, as you were, from the club once they've made the club sustainable. And that has to be the direction of travel. It's not like when Roman first came and he was building the club up from where it was. And it's been a long, drawn-out thing. And he actually got to self-sustenance until he was not permitted to come into the country, because he was about to invest in that stadium, which was going to help resolve this problem.
Yeah, no, spot on. I agree. I mean, we should address different factors and different situations. And the club, the stadium development is a massive obstacle right now that we need to overcome for many a reason. And let's just see how it pans out. I've got Max Burton with us. It's been a while, mate. Good to have you on. Hope you're doing
Yeah,
good.
good evening, guys. Good evening. I've just been
Good evening. Good evening, Max.
pretty busy. Even today, I just like 6 years today that my father died. So this was we're doing a little memorial for him. Yeah, to this day, on this day, 6 years ago it was. Yeah.
Condolences, brother.
Okay. Do people still say condolences on the anniversary of?
Yeah, anniversaries.
Yeah, we actually burnt a candle and did a little
condolences
for him. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, as I've been listening. I don't think I've been on since this Abramovic news has taken off. As I say, it was interesting to hear. I just sort of heard at the end of the conversation that you guys were having, and there are two things that if I agree with a lot of what Bobby says. Really, we don't need a lot of investment now because we were always going to be a club that we're going to be self-sufficient. That's what Roman Abramovich wanted for us. So, and I hate when these rivals and the press say that Chelsea will keep buying their success. He spent heavily in his first year, didn't he? And then after that, we were, the buys that we've been doing have sort of been funded by sales as well. In the last few years, okay, we spent heavily, but if you look at our net profit over the last few years, the net profit has been quite good. The two things that we need to do to stay on that curve, to stay being self-sustainable, is, as Bobby said, is the stadium build. But the only thing I don't think we got right when Roman was here was the commercial deals, because when you look at the commercial deals that Manchester City pulled off, I don't know how they did it, whether it's dodgy dealings or whether they did it in the right way, but they have overtaken us significantly when it comes to like commercial deals and sponsorship deals, etc. And I think I was reading something a couple of years ago where our growth on that side is stagnated a lot, while others has increased significantly. Liverpool, remember at one time we were the fourth richest club in the world or something, and we've gone down to about 8th or 9th. So we need to improve on that. And what I heard from the Saudi media group was that they were going to get some good sponsorship deals in as well. That was one of their aims, to build a new stadium, get these sponsorships and get us, because where we are in London, we are in the best part of London, and to get a lot of this, these sponsorships and get these attractions. So I think if we can improve on those two sides, we won't need to depend on money from coming in from our owners.
Sorry, I was just away for a second there. I'm getting clicking noise in the background.
Oh, that will stop in a minute. I think that's Zane trying to do the Rubik's Cube in 2 minutes. Or
all right.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I've got Tobago coming in. Tobago, welcome to the stream. Give me your thoughts and opinions, mate.
Big up, guys. How are you?
Big up, Tobago. Welcome to the stream, brother.
I'm good.
What
Actually,
do you want to talk to us about?
Actually, I'm happy with the win. We keep on going against all odds.
You're breaking up, Tobago. You happy with the win? What?
Against all odds.
Against all odds. Listen, that's the way we do it, mate. That's the way we do it at Chelsea Football Club. When it gets tough, we get tougher. Yeah, mate. No. It's a good. It's a good goal by Kai Havertz. A good finish. Yeah.
Yes. I think Chelsea should give just Tuchel a lifetime contract, man. What a coach.
Lifetime contract for Tuchel.
Yes.
Listen, as we found out recently, there's nothing sustainable for lifetime anymore. So, yeah, look, Tuchel, I love the man. I really do, and I think what we've heard from him recently, with all of the problems that are happening now, I'm glad we have such a leader in our club. He is someone that will keep this club ticking over, moving over, and continuing up until we reach conclusion to this issue. What he said about driving a bus, a 7-seater to games, he'd do it. He's the kind of guy who would actually do it. So big up to Tuchel, and big up to you, Tobago. Tobago, what is your thoughts on the sale of Chelsea Football Club and potential buyers? What's your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I think this sale should be more quicker, because if like this thing drags a lot, we will end up being broke, because already know they've frozen our accounts and stuff. So hopefully by Friday, after deadline, then we get a new owner. But anyway, we might want this Saudi Arabian and what. Hopefully, Roman will choose the best for us.
Actually, you've just raised a very important point here, and I want to ask the panel if they're aware of how this will pan out. If the sale is agreed on Friday, I mean, I don't think Friday will be the date it's agreed. I think Friday will be the final or the deadline to submit your bids, and then it will be evaluated by Roman, the Rain Group, and whatnot. But once a bid has been accepted, will sanctions be lifted straight away, or will it be until all of the transaction has been concluded and the money has been allocated and been received and whatnot? When will sanctions be lifted against Chelsea Football Club?
I have no idea.
Anyone has any thoughts? No?
I have no idea, to be honest. No.
It'll probably be when the money's cleared, because what they want, they don't want Abramovic to get any of the money. So, who does the money go to? By the way, does it go into a particular bank or something?
From what I understand, the British government will set up a trust, or they will actually distribute it among charities that are looking after the victims in Ukraine.
Is it going to be transparent as well? Because what I don't want is this.
Well, it should be. It should be, right? It should be.
Government to be putting it into their coffers and pretending. How much of it is going to them? Is it the full amount going?
Exactly. Don't believe. Honestly.
Yeah.
95%.
We should ask for transparency of this money as well.
Yeah, 95%.
One thing Nick Candy said was that if he's the preferred bidder, that his consortium will guarantee sustenance of the club until the deal is finalized. So they will take on all the bills.
That's a really good gesture. Yeah,
that's what he said.
Who's that? Nick Candy? Who's that?
Yeah, he said that on Sky today.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, in terms of the government, obviously everyone knows my thoughts on the government as well. I'm not, the Tories is just, yeah. Anyways, but the better. I don't want to, as soon as the club gets bought, I don't want it to go quiet in terms of, if you're going to donate to the Ukraine crisis, I want you to do it. Don't go quiet. I want to hear what's going on. I want to hear updates. I don't want to hear any quiet. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe 95% of what the government says. They talk a load of rubbish, honestly. You know what I mean? It's just, it makes me angry thinking about it. These guys have sanctioned our club, and they talk rubbish 24/7. Absolute joke.
While they're at it, they need to donate £1.5 million that Roman cleared off from the club, because that's the money that he invested from his own personal money. So I think we need to do that as well.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Question. I know we're going to go a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we're going down this rabbit hole, but let's keep going. Let's see how this pans out. All right. Question. So, do you know the statement that Roman made about if I was to sell the club, then the loan is no longer required. I will give the net profit to the victims. Okay, the net profit, by the way, is everything that's left minus £140 million, which is what he paid. Okay, so would that statement still be valid if the club is actually sold and the British government is the one who's receiving the money? And the reason why I'm saying that is because he made that statement in respect to what he would do for the sale of the club. However, now that the sale isn't going to go through him, the money's actually going to the British government. Is the British government liable for a civil action lawsuit by Roman Abramovich when all this is done and dusted to prove their allegations that they're pinned against him? Because they'll have to prove the allegations, and if they can't prove the allegations, then does the British government have to pay him back all the money that they collected from the sale of Chelsea Football Club?
Surely the statement, the statement that he said he would do this, which he would do that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The difference between Abramovich.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, the statement now doesn't hold water, because that statement is what I would do if you were to give me the money. However, he's not receiving the money. Therefore, the money hasn't gone to him. Okay, and he doesn't have the right to do with it what he wanted to do with it. It's been taken away from him. Like, I could have money in my pocket now, and I'm going to say, I'm going to buy Boogeyman some lunch with that money. All right. Now, if you come and take that money away from me, all right, and then you say, well, I'm taking that money and I'm going to buy Boogeyman some lunch.
Yeah.
Then you buy him lunch with my money. It isn't the same. What I'm trying to say is my statement is no longer valid. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's no longer in your control. Yeah.
So Roman Abramovich's statement that this money. The point I'm trying to make is this: Roman Abramovich can ask for that money back. He can ask for that money back at the end of all of this.
Yeah, if the government doesn't, do like what Roman was going to do and give it to Ukraine, then he can take them to court.
Even if they give it to Ukraine, because the money has been forcibly taken from him.
Yeah. Well,
look, Nick, the money has been taken away from him under allegations of X, Y, and Z that they have not yet proven in a court of law. All right, so they've carried out the punishment before proving the crime. Okay,
yes,
because it's allegations.
So
it's allegations at the moment.
Yeah, you're
now,
right.
So what I'm trying to
take them to court after all this. I think he can take them to court and get that money and do what he wants with it.
That sounds so amusing, honestly. Taking the government to court.
Why?
He's not.
It's not the first time. He done it before, Podfather. Don't worry. Done it 25 years ago.
Eric Lou.
Sorry, Eric.
Eric, this is because one, you don't come on my channel enough, and two, when you do come on, you don't say nothing, so people don't know.
Yeah, I've just been listening today, but I was listening to everything, so I just wasn't, sometimes
when all this is finished, he can take them to court.
You know what?
If they can't prove he's guilty helping Putin and Russia, then he can take them to court.
The point I'm making is they can just easily manipulate whatever laws they have to justify what they're doing, which is how they did the sanctions, right? That's how they went.
There's still. I've seen a lot of litigation against the government that was won by the other party. So he has all the foundation to go after them after that. I think if I hear the question before is, he said he will sell the club and give the profit or to the UK. And the profit, by definition, is he has to minus his investment out of whatever is left over. So if the government sees everything and not giving him nothing, without proof that he has anything to do with whatever is going on, he has all the basis to go after them in the court of law. Listen, if I was a billionaire in this situation, let me make this clear: I'm not gonna let this go easily. I'm going after them. I'll stay put until this whole thing goes. Right now, if you decided to go after the government, people are going to be like, okay, you're not the most...
Roman won't let this go. When it's all finished, this war and everything, you know, he will do what he has to do, and he will take them to court. You know, because they won't be able to prove he put money into weapons or anything like that because he didn't.
That's not the allegations. That's not the allegations, Nick. That's not the allegations.
Well, everything else. Well, they say
Yeah,
he did.
look. The allegations are that he is close to Putin. He has influence in the Kremlin, and he made his money through illegitimate means. That's the allegations, and I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, every billionaire has done that. Every single billionaire has done the same thing. You know, if they can't prove big things against
Wait,
you,
hold
you
on,
know,
hold on,
can do something.
Nick. So are you confirming the allegations against Roman Abramovich?
No, of course not.
What are you doing, man? Every billionaire has done that.
We have the government is more corrupt than anyone, so I don't know what they, we know the real story. They're all corrupt. They want to take him, to sanction Chelsea because he knew he had 2 words with Putin. He wasn't involved with Putin that much anyway. He was Yeltsin, so
I think
it doesn't make sense.
I think Nick is right. Nick, in the sense that you said what you said, yes, but what is happening is because of what Putin did. So that's the connection there. So they're saying you have these connections with him, and then he's now gone and done this. So we have to sanction you. So obviously there's a connection with the situation going on in Ukraine. So that's why, Nick said it's because of what's going. So that's the whole point of preventing him from getting any kind of money from Chelsea. That's the whole point with that. That's the logic behind what they were saying. So we can't
They found a scapegoat. They found a good way to get his money. Make sure he doesn't get anything. That's what they're doing. And I'm sure they're going to keep half. They probably keep half of it as well.
At the very least, there needs to be accountability, because I'm pretty sure there's been no confirmation of what will actually happen once they get all this money that they're preventing Roman from getting. What are they going to do with the money? We don't know. So that's what I'm thinking. There needs to be some kind of accountability after all this.
It is clear, like Bobby said at the beginning, don't put sport into politics. Like, you can punish that guy, you can sanction that guy without touching Chelsea. These British people, not British people, but their government, they're not smart enough. They put themselves in a situation where, at the end of the day, they're hurting the London and the Chelsea fan and all people that work at Chelsea. And they're going to expose themselves a lot of lawsuits when they cannot prove it. It's not only Roman. Like, all the other people sitting there don't have a job, cannot open their kiosks. All those things, like, I don't know. I don't live in London. I don't walk around Stafford Bridge. So there's a lot of small businesses that were affected by this decision by the government. I'm pretty sure they're feeling it right now. They know there's a lot of people that are not happy about
when it's all over. Like I said, Boogie, when it's all over, this war and everything, that's when we're going to see the government changing, their ways.
Of course,
they'd be denying everything.
No, they will find a scapegoat inside the government, asking you to blame him. This is the MP that created the whole story. That's what they're going to turn you guys into thinking. Instead of just,
but they can't make us. We're not stupid to think like that. We know what's going on with this government, and we know what they've done to Roman. We know everything, and in the end, he will take them to court and make them and get what he wants out of them. That's what's going to happen in the end.
Stuff is way too complicated.
No, to be fair, we don't know everything, do we?
But Boogie, I think when it comes
we know everything, we don't know everything.
The way we don't know, but it feels like that. You know what I mean, Max?
Boogie, I think when it comes to politics and sport, I think it's just getting here. But if you look around the world, it's been involved for a long time. I have a friend who's he's from Greece, and he basically says that a lot of the they support clubs almost by politics. Yeah, so if you're like their version of conservative, you go with like Panathinaikos or Olympiacos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
this is right left on the right wingers and
in Spain, you have the Catalans
in England we wasn't like that. We wasn't years ago. There wasn't. It was all about football. There was no politics into football. But now it's all.
You give the Catalan and Barcelona.
Yeah.
When I think back, I heard what I'm going to say now. Just anybody from Spain, I think, because I heard sometime there was some terrorism attack against the Spain government from the Catalan or something. You haven't heard that the government go around and seize Barcelona, right? Had Barcelona FC. No, never happened.
No, not seize them, but you've heard stuff like, oh, Real Madrid were about to go bankrupt, and then the council stepped in and bailed them out to 400 million. You know, there's all sorts of crazy things that have gone on in football and sport. What I think is, it just means we have to be smart about the way we move. And
the thing is, it's never happened in this country before. Since
but I think
One second. Nick. Allow the speaker to finish before you interrupt. So let Pod finish his statement.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think unfortunately it's gonna happen more and more going forward. Yeah. Not in this similar case. I still think this is an extreme case, and I think there's been a lot of questions raised and backlash. But it was just last year when they were doing the whole Super League thing that the government had to get involved, and was saying that they wouldn't allow the Premier League and they'll stop players and all that sort of thing from going to play the Super League abroad and stuff. So when it suited the fans, they wanted the government to come in and get involved. And unfortunately, I think when they did the fan-led review thing that the government was trying to think, and that's where the dice comes in, because it's like, okay, government can do some good things and can bring in certain laws that make fans more significant when it comes to running of clubs, but then it's a dicey thing, because you really don't want the government involved in football at all. But once you've invited them in, say, oh, let's stop the owners from being able to do a Super League or break away from the Premier League and this and that, they're just going to continue to feel like they have more of a say to get involved, and that's what's happened over the years. But like I said, going forward, hopefully this situation is extremely rare and doesn't arise again going forward.
Yeah, look, this is a new thing. It's a new experience for us.
Sucks that
Chelsea
it has
fans,
to be us,
but Chelsea fans, but also football fans in general, because this I think is something that will continue to happen in the future, and again, it's something that worries me, and it should worry everybody. Every football fan should be worried about this. I mean, those fans out there who are currently trolling Chelsea Football Club, they need to be careful, because they could be in this position quite, and it could be quite painful for them, because they're not a world beater, they're not a European champion, they're not at the same level. So who's going to invest in their club? Who's going to try to pour money in their club if they're in this kind of situation? So those of you who are bantering and who are trolling Chelsea Football Club, look at your house, and if your house is made out of glass, don't be throwing them stones. Look, guys, thank you for being here. It's been a good stream. It's been a good chat. I will be streaming again close to the Champions League fixture, and then again close to the Middlesbrough fixture. And if there is something that comes up that requires a stream, I will be streaming. Those of you who are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Those of you who don't know, I also produce videos as well as streams. So make sure you check out my videos as and when they come out. I wish you all a blessed evening. 3 points against Newcastle at the Bridge in very turbulent times. Up the Chelsea. Big up, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.